8 years after Don's suicide, I received a phone call from our youngest son, Ben. He was 12 when Don died. It was on his 20th birthday. He was at the University of Arizona in Tucson. And he left me a voicemail.
I need dinner right now. I can't go in the house. It's the worst year of my life. Mommy, I'm not okay. I'm not okay right now, Mom. I really need help. I really need help. I really need answers.
He had attempted suicide that night. And his community came alongside. His fraternity brothers, his roommates, got him the help that he needed. You can imagine, as a parent, waking up to that voicemail that was left 7 hours before and living a few states away. So not only did his friends come to his aid, but they came to my aid too. When you help one person, you help one person and a family and a community, and that preserves the future. I talk about our story all the time, but every time it gets emotional too. Actually, Grand Forks, North Dakota was our very first assignment. After Don and I got married, we met in college, and he was a missileer. This was not our first choice of assignments, I will be honest, right? It was the best assignment we've had. And we grew our community from this assignment. And as we moved, and we all moved to different locations, we always counted on each other. And Don, in 2004, as a lieutenant colonel, was deployed to Baghdad for 4.5 months, and he came back different. We hear about it during pre-deployment, post-deployment. And for 4 years, we had this spiral. We had 2 boys. And really, I was trying to do all that I could for those 4 years, but our marriage was over, our family was decimated, and even more so after Don took his life in 2008, 3 days before he pinned on Colonel. That's when I had to rely on my community that we had from Grand Forks, our community from Colorado Springs, the communities from every installation that we had ever been a part of. Both of our children attempted suicide, and research has said that people who have family members who die by suicide are more likely to attempt, and both of our boys did. And my oldest son has been missing since September 20th of 2015, in a large part due to the suicide. It took me 10 years before the shame, the guilt, the regret that I felt kept me from telling our story. And I had to realize that other people needed to hear it. But also selfishly, it helps me heal telling our story. It sounds like it would break open the wound, right? Take the scab off, and it does, but there's healing. There's a healing process in it. But what's truly healing is when people come up and say, your family's story made a positive impact in our life. Your training gave me a different way of looking at things. You know, a lot of times people think they're a burden to their family and their community, but they aren't. And as a community, we need to let those people know. We need to come out and say, how are you today? Or I appreciate you, or share a smile when someone doesn't have one, because you don't know what they're going through in life. How many times have we heard in the aftermath, I had no idea. I didn't see the signs. You don't have to see the signs to have community, to have connection. Use your intuition. You know when someone's not feeling it, right? Just share a smile or say, hey, let's go for coffee, or let's go for a run, or something that you enjoy doing, but including them in it. What I love about this base, Grand Forks, is that you all have community because of the extreme winters, right? Because of the remoteness. I will say that Grand Forks, the city has changed a lot in 30 years, which is nice. But the team here, the Griffin team here, your leadership team, your community support coordinators and VPIs and the Military and Family Readiness Center, they are there for you and ready, and they've got some great programs that are available to you. And when you have those fun things on base, I encourage you to reach out to someone and personally invite them to come with you. So I talk in acronyms. I grew up in the military. HOPE is an acronym, and it stands for Hold On, Pain Eases. It doesn't end, it eases. And when I say hold on, don't hold on to thin air, right? Have your person, have your organization that you know ahead of time that you can reach out to. HOPE also stands for Help One Person Every Day. And I think the beauty of that is when you get outside of your circumstances, outside of your battlefield, and help someone else on their battlefield, not knowing what that battlefield is. It helps your pain ease, but it also helps their pain ease. Don't be afraid to borrow hope and to let someone else borrow hope. We just have to talk about it. We say suicide is a tough subject. I don't think it's a tough subject. I think it's an untrained subject. And we're on the road to getting more training. But it's okay to look at someone and see them struggling, right? And go up to them and say, I'm here. How can I help? Even if it's just going for a cup of coffee and listening. I think listening is such an important tool and skill, just like resilience, to just listen. We don't have to have the answers and the solutions, but it's nice to have those resources and say, okay, let's do this together.